Well, hey, greetings, everybody. This is Kai from the Techno Funk Boy, and we're going to have a little mini episode of Into the Mist here. And Into the Mist is our kind of a Dice Dreary after party, so to speak, where we talk a little bit about the games from the player's point of view. But in this actually episode, we're going to talk about something a little bit different. We're going to talk about, if I can grab it here, we're going to talk about the Tarokka deck. And so, if you've played Curse of Strahd, or if you're familiar with it, you probably remember the episode of Dice Dreary where we had our as players we had our cards read to us. Now, this isn't just like a cool scene in the game. This actually has a randomizing effect on the game itself, and what these cards do is they set particular items or events or characters in certain locations for you. And so if you replay the game, these things are going to be in different places. Now, as we're recording this, we have finished up season 1. We're just starting season 2. And so I'm going to approach this in very much of a season 1 type of approach, where some of this stuff as players we already know, and I'm going to explain it from that point of view, that this is what the card was read to us, and this is what we found as players to be the case. Or if there's something we suspect, then that's what we. I'll let you know, and we might be right or we might be wrong, as we go. But that's kind of where we are in the telling of the story, is right at the end of season 1, and so I do want to, for those of you who have listened to season 1, we'll refresh a little bit about what has happened so far. For those of you who haven't, this is the Dice Dreary podcast, and you really should be listening. We're playing Curse of Strahd and having just a blast doing it, and it's a lot of fun. So, 5 cards are drawn during this, and the first card is the Hooded One. So, the Hooded One in this place, there's the location of where the card is drawn, and the card itself. That kind of sets these things. So position 1 is what the kind of header of it is, that this card tells of history. Knowledge of the ancient will help you better understand your enemy. The card being played there translates to, the reading itself is, I see a faceless god. He awaits you of a long and winding road deep in the mountains. All right, so as far as season 1 goes, we don't have a lot of information on this one. We know that there is, like, the temple of the amber, the dark ones, this amber temple in the mountains. We don't know if this is the same place. We've been told that the road to that temple is long and winding, so to speak, and so I'm kind of thinking that this is what this is, but what the item is, I have no idea at this point in the game. All right, so the second card, and this is this card tells of a powerful force for good and protection, a holy symbol of great hope. And what we drew here was the Conjurer. The Conjurer is, I see a dead village drowned by a river, ruled by one who has brought great evil into the world. All right. So we know what the village is, and we know where it is. This is the village of Breeze. We've heard from several sources that this was the village that was just drowned out, and it's now vacant. What this holy symbol is, don't know. The great evil, or the one who has brought great evil into the world, don't know. Sounds scary. This actually is one of the more immediate stops that in season 2 we're planning to go to. So the plan in season 2 is to go to Balaki and then head down south to I think it's south. I think so. To Belize, and so this, if all goes according to plan, and when does it actually go according to the plan? We're going to learn more about this particular card fairly soon. So the third card, this is a card of power and strength. It tells of a weapon of vengeance, a sword of sunlight. We drew the Avenger on this one. Now, what this item is they actually say it's a sword, and we're assuming that it's a sword. I don't think that that's metaphorical, but we don't really know. The Avenger says this is lies in a dragon's house, in hands once clean, now corrupted. Yeah, there we have a kind of a lead on a dragon's house. Beyond that, we don't actually know a ton. This is an item that I am particularly keen to get because a good sword will help us all the way to Strahd, and much less, facing Strahd directly. But we actually don't we don't know much about the sword itself, and so this is mostly in the dark. As I'm doing this, I'm realizing how very little we accomplished in season 1. The fourth card. This card sheds light on one who will help you greatly in the battle against darkness. And this is the Mist. So I had that upside down. This is the Mist. So this actually requires some explaining because the text, this was altered a little bit by our DM, and this is going to be one of those things as a DM of this game that you're going to have to figure out as you're playing it. Is do you, if you want the game to be completely random, then that's cool. If you want to kind of set it up a little bit, that's cool too. You're the DM. In this case, and not to put words in Jeff's thought process here, because I don't know. He hasn't told me why he went about doing this and changing this one up a little bit. But the drawing of this card actually put our friend or our ally in a place that we were already going, and so I'm kind of thinking that he moved her in order to show us a little bit more of the map and show some cool parts of the map. So this is the reading we got. Now, if you get the Mist in this position in your game, it's going to be different, and it's going to be sending you a different place. But this is a Vistani wanders this land alone, searching for her mentor. She does not stay in one place for long. Seek her out at a wizard's tower on a lake. So this is one that we've been to, we've accomplished, and she has already left us alone. This was Esmeralda, and her mentor was Rudolph, also known as Rictavio, and Rictavio was actually taking us to this wizard's temple when we were in Balaki, and we got attacked by a vampire instead, and he died. He died, and so we went solo. But then we found Esmeralda there at the tower that Rictavio / Rudolph was using as kind of a base. And so, huzzah! We accomplished one thing in season 1. The last card that we got in this one is your enemy is a creature of darkness whose powers are beyond mortality. This card will lead you to him. This one, we got the Executioner. The solution is I see a dark figure on a balcony looking down upon this tortured land with a twisted smile. So like when we first got this, there's a point when we first get to Valaki, and we got to the inn, and there's a balcony in the inn, and I start examining the balcony because I remember this card. And it wasn't terribly long thereafter that I started thinking, wait, no, I think this is actually setting Strahd's location in Castle Ravenloft. Not that we're going to find this evil figure, or dark figure, it says, this dark figure in a balcony that we ran across at some point, but that when we get to Ravenloft, we will find Strahd on the balcony, and that's kind of where we're destined to encounter him. That's the feeling I have on it, but this one, this one holding the center position, and being about our enemy, which we've got to kind of interpret as Strahd, our enemy, is where he's located. This seems to me like this is kind of the end game card, and so we haven't quite unraveled all of that, but that's kind of my thoughts on it at this point. It's going to be most entertaining to watch this video, like after everything is done, and I know what all of this stuff means, just to see how just kind of our wild theories as we go. But I very, very purposefully, I haven't bought the book, I haven't looked at the book. I'm being very, very cautious about what I actually consume about this game, because I do want it to be a surprise as we go, and I've found that to be a lot of fun. And so that is kind of where we are as of the end of season 1, when it comes to the Tarokka deck. So I'm thinking in season 2, and that a lot more light is going to be shined on this, because the point of season 1 was to get Irina to safety. And the thought was at the time, that Krizik was going to be the best place for that. We have reached Krizik. We have established that it could be a very good place for safety. And so now that season 1 mission is done, the plan is very much to turn our attention to these cards, and to really kind of figure out what all of this stuff is and how it can be used in our fight against Strahd. And so we're really looking forward to the release of season 2, and I hope that you are too. And I hope that you're enjoying these videos, and we're definitely gonna keep going with these, because it's been a lot of fun kind of looking back at the stuff we've done. The time between recording and release is sometimes very, very long, and so kind of looking back now at these things, and I like that episode, which is one of my favorite episodes, where Madame Eva does this drawing for us. I loved that episode, and looking back on it now, so much further down the road, is very, very cool, and I really enjoy doing this kind of stuff. And so if there's anything that y'all want us to tackle on these, let us know. We'll be more than happy to. Any questions that you have along the way, if we know and we're permitted to say, then we will. there's some spoilers that we know because we are a little bit farther down the road from what is aired. That obviously we won't tell you until the episode's released, but more than happy to talk about any of our motivations or what we were thinking at the time. And so feel free to shoot some questions our way about this stuff. I do appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time.